So literally just like minutes before I got on, I was looking at my Facebook memories, and there was one that had a link to a MySpace video.
Oh,
I think it was my vote for TJ one.
yeah.
um,
Which now lives on the Dutch channel. That's on there.
yes, yeah, it does, yeah. That's right, yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's on YouTube now, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so out of curiosity, just because like so many like dead links, like MySpace leads to so many like dead links or whatever, and it just basically took me to the homepage.
Yeah.
But I was curious. I get curious when I see MySpace links, so I clicked on it to see what it do, and it took me to the homepage. And then
Yeah.
I went to like on the side, it has like there's like a little like drop down list, and it says like music, movies, some like just various culture things, and then people. And I was like, oh, I want to see that. That's like what MySpace was originally. And you go to it, and then like for like the sign up, and on like the sign up page, it says sign in using your Facebook account. And I was like, what a fucking massive L that is.
L. Yeah, I mean, the only person who did not receive said L would be Tom from
Would be
MySpace,
Tom.
who
Yeah.
sold it and got out of the game. I don't know how much he sold that shit for, but he might be. If he's a billionaire, you know what? I don't care, because like in the abstract, I'm like, yeah, billionaires like should not exist. The only way you become a billionaire is through exploitation. It's like a moral thing that I think is evil and wrong. But if Tom from MySpace is a billionaire, he is like the only one that I think is okay, because you don't. What is he doing? Who is he? What's he up to? You don't know, because
Yeah.
he did what you're supposed to do. Is he got the bag and he went away. He's not shilling a meme coin or a
Yeah, exactly.
cryptocurrency meme coin, NFT, some like bullshit AI startup. He's not doing any of that shit.
Yeah. No, that is the other parallel is like Mark Zuckerberg. It's like you either die a Tom or live long enough to see yourself become the Mark. Cause
Yeah. Ooh,
like,
that kind of works on multiple ways. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, right. Yeah. Um cuz like I mean they both is a similar origin story, right? They're just like college kids who were into like coding, programming, and they happened to make these social media sites that exploded, and Tom was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, why bother with any of that shit? I'm just gonna I'll just get money and then dip. And then Mark just has more of the typical billionaire I don't
That
know,
drive
billionaire brain where
inside
he's
of
gotta,
you that like
yeah, I
it's
guess.
never enough. It's never gonna fill the empty void.
Mm-hmm. Or like uh he's like the third guy in like that made like BlackBerry, which I mostly
Oh.
just know because of the movie. I wasn't like I wasn't big on the BlackBerry history before that, but he was kind of like this. I think he's like the Steve Wozniak to Steve
Yeah.
Jobs, um, but it just got to a point where he was just like, this is just becoming too much, and he sold his shares and just kind of dipped at a point. And uh he happened to sell his shares at like the peak, like the perfect time to sell for BlackBerry, so he probably made out of there with more money than like the main dudes.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I did check, and Tom sold MySpace in 2005. I didn't realize it was like right away. I thought he had it for a little longer, I didn't realize he sold it that early. But 2005 for 580 million. So,
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
you're good. You're
He's
you're
not a
you're
he's not a
set.
billionaire, but like he's halfway there. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I'm gotta say, Nick, you sound really paranoid right now.
Well, that's yeah, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm making sure the room's secure.
Speaking of, coincidentally, I just idea
Wow.
came into my mind,
Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of There Will Be Duds. This is episode 209, correct? And I'm your co-host TJ, and with me as always.
As always, I'm Nick.
And as always, we watched a thing, not a movie this time, but we watched a visual medium thing. It's a show. We watched the show this time. And that show is from a year that I didn't.
I think it's 2004.
2004, I think so. So that show is Paranoia Agent from 2004. I'll say created by Satoshi Kon. I said directed by last time, but that is a bit of a misnomer. He's series director and creator, showrunner. But it is about these people that are being it's kind of most of the episodes focus on like a different person who's going through some shit, and then at some point they get attacked by a boy on rollerblades with a bent bat named Little Slugger or Shonen Bat. If you're watching the sub version, so there's like a police investigation trying to figure out who he is, who's doing all these attacks. But as if you're familiar with Satoshi Kon and even having seen, not all of his stuff, it's you kind of know it gets very he likes dreamy stuff, he likes surreal stuff, so it gets pretty trippy. Is he real? Is he just in their heads? Is he some sort of manifestation of something? Yeah, kind of. It's an interesting thing because it really isn't. There is ultimately like a central character, I guess. Like there is the one where it comes back to her. Saki or Sagi. Saki, I can't remember if it's G or K, whatever. This timid lady who works she's just like described as like a character designer. She just like makes characters for like a media company, but then she just kind of disappears for like the middle. Like, she's like in the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and then she's basically not in it until like the last 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is kind of, she is the beginning and end point. So she is the central, even if she's not really central the whole time.
Yes. I would say like the modern day equivalent to her creation would be like Labubu.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's like a little cute character. Cute. I put in air quotes because some people can see that Labubus are like kind of they're kind of fanged and they look a little.
Okay.
They're kind of cute in their own specific way. I guess I'll say that.
Okay. Now that you're bringing this, I literally don't know what a Labubu looks like.
It's actually interesting because I feel like they kind of look like the little dog like character.
Moroni.
Like they're like a human in like a little furry suit, but they kind of have like a smirk and they have kind of like the anime like sharp row of teeth. Like it's like a mischievous kind of look that they have. But it's one of those things that some I think a woman in Japan, don't quote me, but I think she created the character a while ago, and then they hit over in America, and now it's like there are so many like different knockoff versions of Labubus everywhere. Like you'll see people walking around with like the little keychains on their like purses or like backpacks or like little messenger bags. It's everywhere. Like I think there's like a movie in the works, so it's like kind of similar in that way. It's kind of strange.
Okay. Yeah, so it does feel a lot like
Moroni, but if you want like a modern analog, that's kind of like
no, that fits because he's just kind of like a guy. He's just like a little guy, and then he is just like everywhere to where that become like to a ridiculous degree by the end.
Yes.
I don't know how to do want to like. I don't know. I feel like when we do stuff like this, not like traditional movies, we kind of just bounce around. We don't really.
Yeah.
We want to do like.
It's difficult because it's like going episode by episode. I think would like take a really long time.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, go watch the entire show. You could knock it out. I would say you can knock it out really quickly, but we both kind of dragged our feet on this to the point where, like, I'm surprised that we didn't get attacked by Shonen Bat just because, like, the way that we were like putting it off, we were like kind of cornering ourselves, like pushing the deadline.
Yeah,
and it's like,
good point. Yeah.
Wow, we are like prime victims for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say that I liked this quite a bit.
Okay.
To the point where I'm probably going to revisit it at another point in time, just because I think upon finishing it, I think there's stuff that you can pick up on in a rewatch now that you kind of know, and by the end you kind of know what's been revealed, which not everything is really like fully revealed. Like you kind of get an answer, but there's like stuff on the periphery that's like not really fully explained. This gets thrown out a lot, describing things that are off kilter and strange, and I don't know if this term applies all the time, but I think that this is Lynchian.
There you go. I'm doing Two Mountains.
Yes, Twin Peaks. Yes, yeah. It's. I was getting a little bit of Mulholland Drive as well, like with the two detectives. But I guess you can do like Twin Peaks because it's also about two detectives trying to maybe a little firewalk with me, like trying to discover, like trying to figure out what's going on. But I feel like there were a lot of elements like waking dreams, like that's a big thing that Lynch likes to do. Like moments of surreality, moments of comedy in these like dark moments, like moments of surreality. Yeah, a lot of stuff gets described as Lynchian, and I'm like, it's just kind of weird. They, like, having seen almost all of David Lynch's movies, I haven't seen The Straight Story. It's like I think I have a pretty good grasp of like what makes something Lynchian, and it's like it more so has to do with like a feeling rather than weird off kilter dialogue sometimes, or just like weirdness for weirdness sake, which I think a lot of people will just kind of like, oh, that was pretty Lynchian. Kind of like what we did when we made our Lynch Park movies, where we're like, yeah, it's just like weird art school bullshit, right? That's what Lynch. That was kind of,
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask when you're talking about the ending and how it's like you wanna like rewatch it. Did you watch any of the like post credits things?
Yes.
With I was gonna say that was very like every time it was very like the owls are not what they seem. Type dialogue, but the end of the last episode, it's not the old guy anymore. It's the younger detective.
Yes.
And so now he's like taken up that mantle or whatever. But he's doing the talking there. But he's basically saying like, "Oh, rewatch it. There'll be more stuff." And it's just like showing clips from all the past episodes, and it's like the end is the beginning, and you'll only understand the beginning if you watch the end or something like that. So it's literally
it creates like a perfect loop,
encouraging you to it's really encouraging you to go back through it. Which I would maybe some future where I have time to rewatch things. I would give it another go. Oh, okay. I'll go with my first note, and the first thing that you'd hear right off the bat, you have a super anime ass like title song. That I could never. I was trying to I listened to it a few times because I was like, is this? I was trying to decide whether it was like whether I was warming up to it or not. And I don't think I really did. I didn't really like the opening theme, but I did watch the like the closing credits song like every episode. I loved that one. Just the do 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 do.
Yes.
Very simple, but I really like that one. And just like the visuals of everybody sleeping, all like bundled up together was really.
Well, what's
I don't know,
cool
I really dug that.
is like they use the same outro credits for every episode, but it's
Mhm.
like it's cool as you progress, being like, oh yeah, that's this character. Because you watch the
Yeah,
first episode,
100.
it
Yeah.
just shows all of them, and you're like, I don't know who any of these people are. But then
Mhm.
as the show goes on, you're like, oh, that, because then it's like, oh, you
Yes.
see the teacher assistant who
Mhm.
has like the Maria alter ego. You see them laying next to each other, and
I
then
like. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that they're like sharing the same shot too. That
yeah,
it shows them together, like with their heads like next to each other or whatever. Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
Regarding the intro music, I will say I don't know if I necessarily like the song, but it is a song that would like get itself stuck in my head. So I'd be walking around going like,
Yeah.
he almost like yodels in it.
Yeah.
But I think that adds to like the weirdness of the show. It almost feels
It does.
ironic that it has because the opening credits, it's so unnerving the way that it cuts to every character and they're just like staring
Laughing.
blankly at you and like
Yeah.
laughing, and it feels weird. Like they're just like,
Yeah. Yeah, they're all doing the Mr. Beast smile. Like,
yes,
yeah.
and it's like that's like the first indicator that this is not like other things. I don't know. I would not necessarily describe myself as someone who likes anime a lot of the time. It's never really been my bag. Like
Mhm.
I like a handful of things. Like I like all the Studio Ghibli movies, like the Rurouni Kenshin TV series and the movies. I'm pretty, I like those quite a bit. But there's something about, I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here, but there's something about like modern day anime that doesn't particularly interest me, and it seems like a lot of it boils down to like the way that it tells its stories, and I don't know. I think people make fun of it a lot, but I think it's like the types of protagonists that it's just like you constantly hear their inner monologue. It's like, oh my
Mm.
god, that's a girl. I've never dated a girl before. And then his nose bleeds and he gets like the big sweat drop. And it's just like it's like geared towards teenagers and like children.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Sure.
a lot of anime is like that, but that's like the impression that I get with a
Yeah.
lot of it. And I think, this kind of has a little bit of that. I will say there's like
Mhm.
some moments where like you kind of hear a character's inner monologue and it's very like anime protagonisty. But it's
Mhm.
not egregious, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like I definitely watch more anime than you, but I'm not like a like I think that I am like pretty cultured in anime terms, but then like I talk to somebody who actually like is like an anime fan and it's like that's like all they watch, you know.
Yes.
So they see like everything. So then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not. So I'm like, I'm kind of I got of a little bit of knowledge, but I get what you mean with the like the typical like perceived tropes of a lot of
Yeah. And like
um
fan servicey stuff, which I feel like this also kind of makes fun of that too. In the episode where they like the big titty anime model girls like help him like find where the chief is or something like that. There's like,
oh yeah.
and I'm like, are they making fun of the like figurine collecting like neckbeards in that sequence? Because
That's
it's like
right.
a hunched up guy at his computer,
Uh-huh.
and he's like surrounded by like various like bikini anime girl models, and I'm
Mhm.
like, are they taking shots at like? Because this is like 2004. I'm like, that's crazy if they're like calling shots like 20 plus years ago now.
I mean, yeah, there were guys like that back then. It's at least especially in Japan. It's not as it's just it's one of those things where it's like it's not like it's not like, like trans people existed before, like 2010. It's just now that like the internet is a thing, people know about it more. So
Yeah.
same thing can be applied to like actual
Right.
degens. Like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I almost like I wonder if modern anime fans would even like this. Maybe I'm the guy who watches like one or two good animes and now I'm like a snob about it. That's like, but I'm like because it's not like really like straightforward. It's not like action. I mean, there's like action moments in it, but
mhm.
I think you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief, and it's like it's an unconventional story and it's told in an unconventional way where it's like I feel like this is like the polar opposite of how a lot of typical animes work. Again, operating on like, kind of like the tropes that I know and like the big ones that are like thousands of episodes, looking at One Piece, I think for that reference. But it's like I don't know. Like people that in my life that like consume a lot of anime, I would wonder if they would like this or like
Mhm.
have complicated thoughts about it. I don't know.
I think I mean I believe Satoshi Kon is still generally like
Yeah.
liked a lot, so and I mean it I think maybe the way to think of it is like your One Pieces or Naruto's or any other like big one. I don't know if Bleach is still going on. But yeah, those
JoJo,
like big ones that everybody knows
Attack on
about.
Titan.
JoJo's a little different. JoJo is very anime, but it's also it's its own thing. uh, um uh those are like the big summer blockbuster movie type stuff, and then something like this would be more, yeah, maybe a little more art housey. So maybe it wouldn't be as broadly appealing, but I think it still has like a decent amount of fans. It's not like
Yeah.
Satoshi Kon is not the most obscure voice in anime,
That's true.
but
Yeah.
he is like an acquired taste, I guess. So it's yeah, it's probably not as huge, as universal as some of those, but I think the people that like want to watch his stuff generally like it. And then also I feel like there's people who just like, sometimes it's hard talking to like an anime fan because I feel like they just like everything. Like it's hard to find them like say something bad about like any anime. So then I'm like, well, okay, I can't really like take your opinion that seriously if it's just everything is good.
Yeah.
So I'll just use my own judgment. Yeah, I don't know. This all just feels like just making just judgment calls based on like
Oh yeah, I'm shooting from the
little
hip.
evidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a few episodes are bouncing around to different people, um, getting attacked by Lil Slugger, and then it's the fourth episode, I think, where it's the like kind of sleazy detective guy
Yeah.
who's like being bribed by the mob, and he unexpectedly like stops him, like he doesn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty great. That it's just like, oh, that okay, I guess that's just happening.
He does the like he does like the hitman physics from that game where it's like if you can like throw a banana and it like locks onto the target and it'll go and then it'll hit him. He like arcs it perfectly, and like the shot of him like dropping is very funny because he just like bop and he falls.
Yeah. And then it focuses like based on the cops for the next like 3 or 4 episodes or something like that. It's like just locked into like a linear thing. And then all of a sudden it switches back to the more separate stories. And I will say this, that like I kind of I was like, the first few episodes I was, you know, very interested in the little slugger mystery, like what's going on there and all that, and like the overall story. But then like when it switches over to that, where that's like the forefront of the episodes, and it's just on the cops doing the investigating. And they're still unraveling stuff. Like, pretty early on that, like, okay, it's not, and you don't think that they would be answering it all, like, this early in the show either, but it's like, okay, this isn't, like, this might not be him, or there might be something else at play. There might be another little slugger. But I kind of think that that's, like, what I was, like, when I was, like, the least invested in the show. Like, as soon as it got to more, like, the linear, like, procedural stuff, I think that was, like, the least I was into it. And then I think the first episode where it jumps back to, like, random characters is the suicide trio. And I think that was my favorite episode of the whole show, to be honest.
That is, like, from what I've read, that is, like, the fan favorite. Like, that is the one that most people like the most.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It felt very, I don't know, it felt like the most, like, complete and, like, full, like, rich story. Like, that's the only one that those characters are in. It's not like a lot of the other characters will kind of pop up in other episodes.
They're, like, interconnected in different ways.
Yeah, but that is a completely singular episode, and I just really liked it. I liked how it was just kind of like an open shut, you know. It was kind of like it felt like a real, like solid, like, anthology type episode.
Yeah.
And it was sweet, even though it ended with them all being dead anyways. They were just like skipping and hopping and whatever, and yeah.
Yeah. That's a great moment, because, like, they do tie it in because Shonen Bat is in it. Did you watch it dubbed?
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah,
I watched it subbed. So you call him Little Slugger, and I call him Shonen Bat, because that's how they refer to him in that.
Yes.
But
I like the name Little Slugger. Do you know what Shonen Bat means?
Is it just Bat Boy?
Yeah, Bat Boy. So
yeah, because I know like Shonen Jump is, like, the magazine, so I'm like, I know what that means. Yeah.
It makes me think of, like, the National Enquirer, Bat Boy.
Like the yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those National Enquirer headlines would be like, Bat Boy is Hillary Clinton's son, or something like that. Like, but that is a great moment when he shows up and he sees the three. And I think it's like he sees a ghost and he's, like, scared of them or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great moment.
I thought it was because they're like, I thought they were too
eager for it.
Yeah, they were, like, treating him like he was a celebrity, and then he starts to run away. But maybe it was, like, hand in hand. Maybe it's like he realizes they're ghosts or something.
Yeah, I'm dumb as shit. I didn't pick up on that. Like, I didn't realize the implication of, like, them not casting shadows. I missed that entirely.
I did too. I didn't realize it until afterwards, and I read something. Like, no, I 100% missed it too. When the episode ended, I was like, oh, good. They decided not to kill themselves. That's nice.
Yeah. Because
but even so, how it ended, I was like,
when they photobomb those girls and they see the picture and scream, I'm like, why did they do that? That's a weird reaction.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how did the one taking the picture not see them do that?
Yeah.
Or, like,
yeah.
I was a little confused there. Maybe I like checked after that. Maybe I looked it up after that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where did they like, when did they kill themselves?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, when they try to hang themselves, Zebra looks like he dies. Like, I feel like he goes limp, like death limp for, like, a set, like, and then maybe after the tree snaps, that's kind of when we're entering, like, Deathland. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I guess most of it takes place, like, in the evening or nighttime, I feel like. So maybe they wouldn't cast shadows anyway until, like, the morning. I don't know. Whenever I get a chance, I do want to rewatch this just to, like, kind of pick up on those, like, little details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that episode is really good. It's, like, a really good example of the, like, very, very dark, heavy subject matter that's light and bouncy and funny. Like the
Mm-hmm.
interjection of like the little girl that they like didn't realize that's who they were talking to on like their web forum. Like the way that it intercuts between them like, oh, maybe we could do it this way. Maybe we could do it this way. And then it cuts to like footage of the chat room
Mm-hmm.
where it's like them just basically very morbidly describing different ways to go or different ways to do
Mm-hmm.
it. It's like I don't know, it's a perfect juxtaposition of like very funny while being very morbid. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
bouncy and bubbly personalities while they're like, "Oh, we could jump in front of this train." And they're like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it would be picking like a day and just like doing everything that you want. Like getting
Mm-hmm.
like a nice breakfast, going shopping, spending money on stuff that you like because you're like, well, it doesn't matter anyway because at the end of the day, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they almost have that attitude throughout where they're like they're very like carpe diem about everything because they're like, yeah, because we're gonna die at the end. And I was
Yeah.
almost expecting them not to do it at the end.
I, w-
'Cause-
yeah. I think that's kind of that's the traditional way because that's like where my brain was going to the whole time. And I think that it's intentionally setting you up that way. Like there's so many opportunities where like they're like, we're gonna do this, and then something happens where they can't,
yeah,
that stops them from doing it. And the natural thought is like, oh, they're gonna eventually be like, wait a minute, we have each other. We don't need to kill ourselves
yeah,
because now, we have found some sort of companionship. But then they're just still just, nope, no, we're doing it.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good little bottle episode. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to pick a favorite one, it it might be the one where it's all of the people that are working on the Moromi TV
Mm.
show and like everyone in the production is dropping like flies because everyone is like feeling cornered by the deadlines. Um I also think it's a really funny episode because every time a new member of the team is introduced, they do a little jingle and explain like what a sound design person is and does, what an art
Oh
director
yeah.
does, what a
Yeah.
producer is, kind of thing. And it's like the little Moromi doll is like kind of like dancing as it explains like an audio engineer records the sound and blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. I also feel like that was like kind of a meta episode
Mm-hmm.
regarding maybe the crunch that some of the, the animators and showrunners were feeling to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the moment that I think really sort of solidified that episode as one of my favorites was when the guy starts like de-animating in real time where like he looks down at his hand and his hand becomes
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
less complicated and it becomes
Yeah.
like
That
the
was
little
cool.
storyboard design and he just like completely
Mm-hmm.
desaturates and turns into like one of the wire fighters from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Like
Yeah.
but I also really loved the visuals of him like driving and then like falling asleep and it kind of cuts back to all these different moments. And it's like the show is like unnerving and kind of tense in spots, but like when he looks in the rear view mirror and he sees Lil Slugger like in the road, like basically gaining on him,
Mm-hmm.
it like it creeped me out. It was unsettling. Like he's a very creepy character.
Uh-huh.
And the way that
Yeah.
they do his design in later episodes where he's like a demon
A monster, yeah.
is like whew.
When they catch the original, or not the original, the one that they think is Little Slugger, uh and they start talking to him and he's like, did you I want to know if you thought of the same thing that I did. I have one that's more, I thought of two things.
Okay.
Um one, because he's talking about how he's like a holy warrior and they do like the whole like RPG thing, and I was it's I so my first thought that I thought you might think of was I am Pardue. I'm a holy warrior, or I'm a holy man from Mazes and Monsters. Tom Hanks. It was like the exact same thing.
Pardue.
He thought he was like a holy warrior, like saving the world from negativity or whatever. The other thing is more. This would have been super fresh if we'd have recorded when, when we were supposed to.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how like widespread this would be, but my other thought was, I'm just gonna do it and see if you get the reference. My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. You know what I'm talking. I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, if you don't, you'll just have to see it. But it's the Ring door camera footage of the guy that's like he went to a guy's house and he like broke into his house.
Is that the guy that was like doing this? I didn't watch it with audio, but is that guy's name?
No, that's who he said he was. Harry Dresden is the main character of the Dresden Files. But yeah, that's what he's like. The guy's just like, he's like, hey, can you let me inside? Or can you open your door? Can you open? And he's like, yeah, I heard that your daughter is. I'm here for your daughter. He's like saying that the guy's like daughter is being abused, and the guy on the camera's like, no. He's like, can you leave? And he's like, who are you? Or I think the guy on the porch is like, can I ask your name? And he's like, can I ask yours? And then he does that lean in and he goes, my name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. And then that's where he grabs the like, they have like a ring, like a chain for like a bell ring, and he goes and like rips it off the hinges.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy. Yeah, if you haven't watched that video, it's wild.
I've seen it. I scrolled by it. But there's something about like watching it with sound that it's like the cringe. It's almost too powerful for me. I don't know why.
It's pretty crazy. I mean.
But yes, okay. Yeah. Well, now that you describe it, yes, I did see that video. I am surprised that guy did not get like blown away like as soon as he got into the house, because like. Like, I mean, you saw like The Perfect Neighbor, but it's like the way that like people have like Ring cameras and they are so ready to be like, I'm just looking for an excuse to like shoot someone to death over my property. I'm surprised that guy didn't get like murked immediately.
Yeah. Well, the guy wasn't home.
Oh,
because like if you have the app, you can like, speak through the thing or whatever. So yeah. The guy wasn't even home, but
oh my God,
he does come home and he's like talking to the guy, and then he calls the police. And I know to be honest, the guy still did have pretty good control, because like that almost is that's a much more understandable situation to. I'm not saying shoot and kill somebody, but like do something, like beat the shit out of him, like for breaking in your house and.
Yeah, dude, I have 3 cats. Like, I don't want. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you hurt my cats,
my
like,
thought.
I'm probably like, I'm gonna hurt you real bad. I'm gonna hurt you really bad. And you like.
Yeah, no, I'm not like. I'm generally not. I don't know. I mean, I've never been in like a fight before, and I don't think of myself as like. I don't know. It weirds me out like thinking of that, but oh yeah, you hurt my cats. Or my wife, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, I would maybe end up going to jail. Like, I would probably.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have that like, pregnant mom lifting up a car, type of just like, not even a rage, but I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna come to afterwards, and I'm not gonna remember anything that happened, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door. Now, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
It's one where like it's kind of hard to it gets to a point where it's like it's one of those stories where you're like, how are you gonna wrap this up in a satisfying way?
Yeah.
And it feels like it'd be pretty tricky to, but I think for the most part, I was pretty happy with how it, like, I think it did a pretty good job. I mean, obviously, like, pulling in that, like, it was because, like, her like, puppy died. It's like, it's the most, like, easy get for sympathy, like, especially from me, where I'm like, yeah, of course that's gonna make me feel bad.
Yep.
And it is,
that part. Didn't like it.
It's so sad, and then she, like, picks it up and
yeah,
got, like, the blood all over or whatever. Like, the ending being satisfying enough, being like, I like that I feel like it does answer just enough.
Yes.
While still being ambiguous enough to encourage rewatching and, like, I guess, like a deeper analyzing. But it's like, if you want, it says she created Little Slugger because of this, and she gets over it, and then he goes away. And it's like, if that's what you're looking for, and, like, that is kind of the central thing, is, like, this conflict with this made up character or whatever, and you get it. Oh, he's an escape from reality. He beats these people up, and they're like, why do they feel better afterwards? It's like, because he gives them an excuse to, like, what they say, like, everybody feels cornered. They get beat up by a Little Slugger. Now they can blame all their problems on him. They don't have to feel the pressure on themselves anymore. It's like, okay,
I can't create a new character for you. I'm in the hospital because a preteen with a baseball bat hit me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, there's several parts where they're like, yeah, we found them with like a smile on their face. And I think there's even a few moments where the people that are about to get hit are like, they're like, oh, he's here. Like, they're like excited about it.
Yeah. There's definitely, like, well, and then there's oh wait, you know what? I just realized that a question I did have is, was there ever an explanation for why the fat kid, I can't remember his name, why he got hit in the second episode? Because I feel like he was kind of the outlier. You could say, like, maybe he was feeling cornered by the main kid in that episode, but I'm trying to think exactly how that one go, because doesn't that one happen where the main kid is like, please, Little Slugger, come out and beat the shit out of this kid, please do that right now, and then he does, and he's like, oh sweet, he did it.
You're talking about in the second episode, it's like the kid who basically I love the way it starts too, where he's just like talking about how cool and awesome he is and how much everyone loves him. But he's a kid that, like, plays baseball on, like, roller skates, and so he is immediately accused of being shonen bat. And so he watches his own popularity tank, and he basically ascribes all of his problems. He's like running for student council or like student body president or one of those sort of like elected positions within the school.
Yeah.
And vote for TJ. And
hey. Wow.
And he basically, his entire like social circle and popularity tanks overnight because he sort of fits the description of this kid. The birthday party scene like makes me so sad. That whole episode just like bummed me out so bad. And like, so this other kid that's like running for student body president or whatever is like, he's kind of a pudgier kid. He's not as popular. He doesn't have like all the cool friends and all the cool things. The narcissistic kid basically projects all of his anger onto him and thinks that this kid is starting all the rumors about him, is like saying that he's shonen bat, blah 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 blah. But then you're talking about phones from the first episode. Does he like strike him? Does he attack him? They're like walking somewhere And I think the fat kid's like being nice to him, and it like pisses him off. It makes him mad.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a moment where he like
yells at him, or
he
like,
loses
I don't know if he actually
composure or
hits him,
something.
but
like they take pictures of him doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh,
yeah, that was a good scene.
I was like, oh, it's because he's shonen bat. So now he's like even more cornered.
Yeah.
So then who does he hit first? Shonen bat. Does he hit the fat kid or does he hit the popular kid?
Let me see.
I watched that episode like last week, so I'm like kind of.
I know it's the second
struggling.
episode, and it's that's where I'm at too. Okay, Yuichi is the main kid. I remember that, and then Shugo is him. It says, Shugo attempts to comfort Yuichi, who just gets angrier, hoping Shugo will be the next victim. Almost immediately, Shugo is attacked for real. So the fat kid gets hit first. Eventually, Yuichi goes insane with egopathic delusions of reclaiming his fame before being attacked by Lil Slugger himself.
Huh.
So yeah, and it ends with him like basically praying to Little Slugger to knock Shugo out, and then he does, and then he knocks Yuichi out. So that's the one kind of like different one where it's like it
doesn't fit the criteria of like
yeah. Unless and wait, and then when yeah, maybe this was a bad idea to wait this long, because now I'm like, because then I'm thinking when the cops arrest him, I remember the kid admits to he admits to all of the attacks except for one. Oh, that's except for Sagi. So the only one the kid that they arrest doesn't admit to is Sagi. He says that he didn't attack her.
So maybe this is just happenstance, and this is just the IRL shonen bat just kind of doing randomly, and he just so happened to hit these kids.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's the answer.
Yeah,
this
maybe
is one of those things that would help going back, knowing the whole story for sure.
Yeah, maybe this is sort of like a red herring because he changes up his style
pattern.
Yeah. And then that's when you know, okay, this isn't like the metaphorical, walls are closing in on you, Lil Slugger.
Yeah.
Still interesting. I mean, I did like that episode. I liked the way that they showed Yuichi as being like the insane, like the sort of, I don't know, there's a certain type of like gifted kid middle schooler that is like overly aspirational to the point where it's like, all right, dude, this is like middle school. Like, what are we doing here? Like it's
yeah, but when you're in middle school, it's like this
is the most important thing in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the other episode with like the four ladies like telling the different stories of Shonen Bat. And I like that it kind of developed this rhythm where they were like okay, well, if you promise not to tell, and they go, oh no, and then like the one lady, all of her stories just become more and more ridiculous, and they're like, how could that even be possible? Like the like Lil Slugger on the ultrasound where like the baby would be.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. It's the Bozo dubbed over skit from I Think You Should Leave, where they're all got their stories they can share, and then they're like, how about you? And she's like, have you guys seen Bozo dubbed over? Have you guys seen Lil Slugger dubbed over?
Oh, how about I don't jerk off today?
Yeah. That'd be a good edit where you just, the cutaway is, Lil Slugger just being like, this guy's about to jack off, and then he hits him with a bat, and then but yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little like break from, like, I think I get what it was doing, but it was the most kind of silly, non-serious episode of the whole thing. But I get that it's like, they're telling stories, they're making up things, and that's kind of what the whole thing is about. So like, I get how it plays into the whole thing, but it is
Yeah,
was mostly just kind
it
of-
colors the world a little bit more.
Yeah. Did that one even end with? Was there like an attack in that one, or was the whole
Yeah.
thing just them telling stories?
She goes home and sees that because like her husband's a writer,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes home and
Does he work on the show? Is he one of the writers on the show?
Oh, is that how they set it up? Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
He's it says he's a script editor.
Okay.
She finds on the floor bleeding from a head wound, and I think he's like call an ambulance, and she's like, how did he hit you? Tell me, like because now she's got her perfect story.
She's got her story.
She's got a story she can tell to these like little
right.
gossipy old ladies.
Yeah. No, you got anything else? This is kind of unconventional. I feel like there's because of the nature of it.
Yeah. It would have been fun to do like a quick mini series, kind of like how we did The Boys. If we had more time,
Yeah.
I think maybe doing like even just like 20 to 25-minute episodes, like basically covering all of it. But yeah, I think I got out everything that I think I wanted to say. Like, yeah.
Even if we didn't cover like every little episode, I guess that's what I'm saying is like I know that there's like we didn't talk about every single episode, but
yeah,
I feel like I'd just kind of be repeating myself with whatever,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all neat in their own way. I don't know if there was like an episode that I disliked, just like I said, the stuff with the detectives I wasn't as into as the individual stories. And I guess I'm just gonna roll into my score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a very solid 7 for this. With potential to increase if I did a rewatch, understand it a little bit more. But yeah, I liked it. I liked the cast of characters for the most part. Again, like I said, even though I didn't dislike those few episodes in the middle, it was still definitely like a downgrade compared to the rest of it, and I think that does kind of feed into my score a bit. Because otherwise, yeah, there was I thought the hook is really interesting. Lil Slugger is a very enigmatic villain, very interesting. And then I thought it wrapped up in a very nice way that still left you with some questions, which is a good way to end a show, I think. A show like this. So yeah, 7. Good stuff. So far Satoshi Kon has not really missed with me. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm right around there. I think I would go with like an 8.
Okay.
Could go up more with a rewatch. Maybe watching it a little more, not necessarily casually, but like not trying to like do like 3 or 4 episodes back to back, like in preparation for something like this.
Yeah.
I think maybe giving a little bit more time to chew on could have helped to like kind of collect my thoughts a little bit better. But overall, yeah, the vibe of the show is really great. Everything about it is like up my alley, especially with like all of the like weird Lynchian type stuff. I don't know. It's really funny because people will. I've seen people like do comparison shots to like Satoshi Kon stuff and Lynch. Like I think there's like a scene. It might be a scene in Perfect Blue where it's like the 3 girls in like the red, like almost like Playboy bunny outfits, and then they juxtapose that with like the 3 Playboy bunny girls in like Twin Peaks: The Return, kind of stuff.
I think
I don't
that's
know.
Millennium Actress.
Maybe it's Millennium Actress. Okay. But like
people, the one I know the least about.
Okay. Yeah, people draw comparisons all the time, and I kind of understand why, especially with this. So yeah, this really ticked all the right boxes for me. Yeah, it's like that kind of thing where like you said with the ending, like you can just take it at face value. Like it's just like, yep, she invented this thing as like a trauma response to like a thing that happened when she was really young. And once she kind of overcame that, Lil Slugger's gone. But
Mhm.
then it's like, but then Lil Slugger showed up to other people, and other people had other issues, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, I don't know. There's a lot to chew on. There's a lot to like analyze, and I really like that about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely gonna have to watch it again. 8.
Nice.
That's I mean that's also like pushed his stuff higher up my list of like things to watch. I have a copy of
Yeah.
Paprika. I really want to watch Tokyo Godfathers like this Christmas time because I think I saw your review of it, and I see other people review it on Letterboxd around then. And yeah, now that I'm Satoshi Kon pilled, I wanna watch more of his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only one of his directed movies that I've seen, and I do really like it. That is the most normal, from what I understand. It's his most like normal project.
Okay.
But it is very, very good. Yeah, I was just about to say that like I was kind of thinking of pushing that for our Christmas episode this year, but like thinking about that more.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Unless something else pops up, but that's kind of what like once we did Black Christmas last year, I was like, okay, Tokyo Godfather. It's got to be.
Yeah. I'm good with that. Yeah, if you want to call it now, I'm good with that.
Yeah, sure. Cool. And then we both watched a new movie.
Yeah.
The new Christopher Borglai movie, the drama. I feel like I've asked this before. I probably asked it really recently. Have you seen Dream Scenario yet? Yeah. No, I didn't know. Yes. We talked about like the David.
It was a
Byrne
couple
suit
years
and
ago,
stuff
but
like
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
It was one that like I saw on Barnes and Noble. They had a Blu-ray copy of it, and I was like, I didn't see it in theaters, but it was like an impulse buy because I wanted to see it, so I just grabbed it and then we watched it and liked it a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen. I think he has 4 features, and I've seen 3 of them. The only one I haven't seen is his first one, Drib, which seems interesting. It seems a little different than his other ones. But of the ones that I have seen, they are kind of in the same way that like Safdie Brothers move. For some reason, it's like I think of Safdie Brothers when I think of him in terms of like they have a very specific niche of like characters and narrative like styles, whereas like the Safdies, it's all like you have characters who are complete like narcissistic, like manipulating assholes in the center, and it's very tense and very stressful and blah blah blah. Christopher Borgley is like characters might not necessarily be assholes, but it's a similar sense of like stress, and I think it works a lot more for me because personally I've liked all of Borgley's movies more so than I'm more of a Borgley head than a Safdie head personally, because I think his style of stress is more my bag. Because I love the way that he that I don't know, just some of like the dialogue of like how characters talk about stuff and about each other, and it rings very like true to how I think about stuff, I guess. Very stressful and very it's like how it differs from Safdie Brothers is like a lot of times it's like, and you could argue that Zendaya does bring it on herself in this one, but like all the characters in the Safdie Brothers movies, it's like it's their own fault. Like they're the ones orchestrating their own problems and trauma.
They keep upping the ante constantly.
Yes, yeah, and the difference is, and this is most exemplified in Dream Scenario, where Nicolas Cage literally does nothing and he becomes the most hated person on the planet. And that is like the most like agonizingly like anxious movie. That's one of them for me. Is like it's so painful to watch some of that stuff. And then there's like eventually he starts having nightmares of himself. So he like has that, there's that scene where he like records himself. He like does that apology online of like, he's like, I understand. He's like, I've lived this experience too, and now I can't look myself in the mirror. It's like I terrify myself, and he's like crying and stuff, and then he just gets accused of being like, oh, that was like self-serving, and you were just doing that for yourself so that we'd feel bad for you. It's like you can't do anything right, and that's kind of like it is in this, but like she, you know, again, I think that like the reactions are overstated, but it's not like it is a little different because again, Nicolas Cage literally had no control and nothing he did, like, you know, it was pure just accident. I'm
surprised you didn't like Tar then, because there's like a similar thread in that movie with Lydia Tar and her sort of like cancellation. We don't have to go on a Tar tangent. I know you did. I like that movie quite a bit. I need to watch it again. But it's like that seems to be like an undercurrent with like the whole cancellation type thing, because that's how it feels with like like you said with like Nicolas Cage, where no matter what you do, like once you're in that corner, everything that you say sounds all the more like desperate and reaching. And it's like the more Zendaya tries to explain herself, like the just like the absolute worst it gets. Was that from Paranoia Agent, where someone's like, the more that you say you're not crazy is like the more... Am I thinking of something completely different? I thought there was like a scene in Paranoia Agent where someone was like, and like that's the beauty of it, is like once someone accuses you of being insane, the more you say that you're not insane, the more insane people think that you are. Maybe I'm thinking of something completely different.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe I'm going insane. But yeah, that's the way that Zendaya plays that is so good, because the whole time I was thinking like she was like a child. She's like a little kid. And I was like, she didn't do it, but she didn't do it. That's the thing though. She didn't do it. Like that was that. I think that was like the big discomfort for me, was like in my head going like, it makes you say like, well, it's not that big of a deal. The movie like almost makes you say that just purely based on how everyone else reacts with just such like visceral displeasure and hatred towards her. I'm like, oh God, now I'm like, come on guys, it's not that bad, right? But it's not great. But it's also done in such a funny way too, like the way that they do like the various flashbacks, and like the flashbacks kind of change a little bit. There's like the scene where it's like Robert Pattinson like walking in New York City like with the little girl version of Zendaya, and she's got like a rifle with her, and they're like walking and like holding hands. The way that it shows this stuff visually is also very, very good and very funny. Oddly enough, the second movie this year I've seen that has like jokes about school shooters running through it. I think you saw it too. You saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing in that too. Yeah.
There was like the whole sequence in that movie where if your kid gets killed in a school shooting, they'll just clone it. And like you have to go in and like pick a bunch of phrases from a word cloud to like.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
and then there's like that moment where she's like, "Wait, you'll reclone the school shooters too?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, it's crazy that there are two movies with like really funny school shooter bits in them. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good that I'm laughing at this, but it's just there. I don't know. I really, because like that movie kind of fell apart a little bit for me near the end. Good luck, have fun, don't die. But like the first hour of that, like I thought the satire was really like spot on with that kind of shit. Oh my God. The other moment in the drama that, it was so perfectly timed when they fire their previous DJ because they see her doing heroin on the street. And then they bring in this other guy, which for me, this was like a personal nightmare scenario for me. Having a guy come in that just wants to talk about gear.
Yeah, dude, that was so good.
Like,
that was good. Yeah,
because it's like, yes, I went to school for like audio video shit. Like I could talk to you about microphones and mic cables and like that kind of stuff. But like talking gear is like the most boring shit in the world to me, and I hate it.
Yeah, you should work on a film set. Set.
Hey man, what glass are you rocking, huh? Well, you got the 25 to the 58. Oh man, that's a great one.
Yeah.
But that moment when they're like kind of, I think it's before he does his speech, but like I think it's right after her dad talks, and then like one of his mic cables acts up.
Pop.
It sounds like a gunshot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. That was
like,
great.
The way that like the tension build, like it's so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole wedding, like the whole wedding scene, but like especially the like speeches was like, that was fucking awful. It was like miserable. But I was like, I don't remember if it was there, maybe a little before that, but I was like cracking up. I was like laughing audibly in the theater because Kalia was like, she like looked over at me and she was like, I don't remember if she said, "Why are you laughing?" or like, "What's so funny?" or whatever. But I was like, I like in so many words as they would say in to somebody in a theater. I was basically like, I was like, it's so miserable that it's funny. It's so over the top awful that it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
And that's very much how like I felt the same way with Dream Scenario and Sick of Myself. I would probably say as like miserable as those are, I don't know, I'd have to watch it again, but I feel like Sick of Myself is the worst as far as like you feeling. And it's funny because that character is the worst character. Like the other like the ones in these other ones are like they're kind of Nicolas Cage is a little like muddled because he's kind of like shitty about some stuff. But I mean, undeserving of all the hate that he gets, obviously. But he's still like kind of a little.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything like super heinous, but you know,
right.
These characters are way more sympathetic. But yeah, the one in Sick of Myself is just terrible. She like the whole conceit of that movie is that she's just like a huge narcissist, and she's always just to herself. She's always like competing with people for like attention. So somebody will like tell a story about like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm not quoting it exactly, but something like, well, they'll be at dinner with their friends, and her friend will be like, yeah, my cousin died last year, and I was really close with them, and then she'll just be like, oh yeah, my brother died 2 days ago, and I saw him. He got ran over by a car, and it was really bloody, and like just constantly farming attention towards herself. And then the movie is about how she, like, the extremes that she goes to make she doesn't, like, kill anybody or anything like that. But, like, basically the big thing is that she says that she has, like, a very rare skin disease. So she, like, researches a way to, like, give herself a skin disease. And, like, it just kind of, like, spirals from there. And it just gets worse and worse. It almost turns into, like, a body horror by the end of it.
Oh my God.
But it still has that same sense of like that I've done in all three of these movies, because I remember doing it with Dream Scenario, Sick of Myself, and then and then with the drama too, where I'm just the characters are doing stuff and I'm like, and Kalia commented on this too, that I was like, how much I was reacting to the movie, like squirming in my seat, just being like,
Yes.
stop, just stop talking, just stop doing stuff, and you'll be better off. Like when Robert Pattinson sees Alana Haim's like paraplegic cousin on the street, and he's like, oh, hey, you're her cousin? Oh, cool. And then like, yeah, nice to meet you. And then she's going in and he's like, oh, wait a second. And then he stops and I'm like, no. Just let her go in there. Just let her go in. You'll be fine.
When he grabs her wheelchair, there was like an audible gasp in the theater.
Was there?
It was like such a little thing. But when he like grabs the wheelchair and stops her from moving, everyone's just like, because it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing,
you're gonna be better off if you just let her go in.
But he can't help himself. He has to like, he's like agonizing over this so badly that he needs to like, like, no. But like, you'd be okay with it, right? Like he needs everyone else to like justify it and be okay with it. The other one that, I mean, obviously it was like set up perfectly like to pay off, but it's one of those things where I didn't expect it to pay off in the way that it did, was when he tries to like make a move at his coworker.
Assistant.
They almost have sex and then he doesn't do it because he's like, he feels bad or something like that. But then it's like, it's like the purest form of comedy, like miscommunication, or like a comedy of errors. It's like one of those like baseline things where the whole like ceremony and reception is just like very terse. And so Zendaya hears, I think her name's Mia, hears Mia talking about like a school shooting. And so Zendaya thinks that Robert Pattinson told Mia about it. And so Zendaya confronts her, and then Mia notices it. And so Mia comes in and then says to Zendaya, like, oh, it didn't mean anything. We didn't do anything. And Zendaya was like, that like wasn't even on her radar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it just like introduces another problem, like smack dab in the middle of an already like ballooning problem. And it's, in my mind, I was almost like, well, you almost planned a school shooting, so I guess we're even now. So that's kind of how I thought about it. Where like Robert Pattinson could have been like, it's because that's like he's almost got like a trump card, no matter what argument that they have. He's like, yeah, well, at least I didn't like plan on doing Columbine or something.
Yeah, and then that's immediately followed up by like the worst wedding, like groom speech you will ever see in your life. But anyway, I think that's like leads into the ending and like why it and what I will say, like I do also like that he's not like as miserable and bad as these movies make you feel. He's not like so mean to the characters. Like I feel like all the characters get like some bit of happy ending to them, and like these characters in particular, like I definitely felt the most sympathetic to these guys, because when you see them together, like, oh, they really love each other and all that, and they're not really that bad of people or whatever. And I'm glad that like it did have like as happy an ending as it could be. It kind of ended perfectly in my eyes. Like
it felt strangely optimistic.
Great
for how like cynical of a movie it kind of felt at times.
That's what I mean. Yeah. In the end, I think there is a bit of like warmth and optimism to his endings to some level. And that leads into, I think that is kind of why it ends the way it does, is because he like in an unspoken way, I think that's the way that he maybe finally comes to terms with it, because he's like, oh, I thought about it. I thought about cheating on my fiance, but I didn't. But I thought about it. And I think that's how he kind of comes to the sort of finally accepting her as like, because it was the exact same thing. She thought about doing a bad thing, a different kind of bad thing, but she thought about doing a bad thing and she didn't do it. same thing, and I think that's why how they're able to like reconcile at the end, and why it doesn't turn into like a screaming match. And like I think she understands that too.
Yeah.
In the end, and so I thought the ending was like, yes, surprisingly but fittingly sweet and nice.
Yeah. Give this guy blank checks to make movies. I feel like he can very quickly become like part of the pantheon of, I don't know, like new weird cinema up there with like Ari Aster and Robert Eggers and like Safdies, I guess, like these sort of new interesting filmmakers. I saw that it was produced by Ari Aster at the beginning, and I was like, when I was done, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this,
I would, you invoking Eggers and Aster, that makes me think like I would be really interested if he decided to make a horror movie, like what that would be like.
Oh my
I feel like he could
God.
make a really like really intense.
I would love to see that.
You know, if he uses his normal tools and feeds them into like channels them into horror conventions, it could be really cool.
Yeah. One other thing with drama that made me laugh really hard. Again, this is like such a good, like, I don't know if it's like setup and payoff, but like turning something totally innocuous and making it like awful. Basically the day after like that, she reveals her like worst thing that she ever did or like thought about doing. They have to go get like their wedding photos taken, which I think that's part of that's part of the like the material, the marketing materials. Like that's like the trailer is like the photo shoot.
Yeah.
But
that's
it's
such a good scene.
When the photographer is like going over the list and she's like, all right, so we're gonna shoot you here, we're gonna shoot mom and dad, we're gonna shoot the grandparents, and like she just keeps saying who we're gonna shoot, and you can just see it like Robert Pattinson, like each time it's like the camera flashes and it's like a muzzle going off of a gun, and each time she says who they're gonna shoot, it was just like such a simple idea, but it like worked so well, and it was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
just like, grandparents aren't coming in. All right, shooting them is TBD or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, and that's just. I thought that was just like a showcase of just like great face acting, because they barely it's just on them, and they do such a good job of like conveying their discomfort with all of it.
Every photo that Robert Pattinson is in, he's just like, you can just watch him like slowly dissociate.
Try to smile and like dissociate. Yeah. I was gonna say, and I mean, I would still say pretty good, but at the time of watching this, I was like, man, 2026 so far is like off to like a great start for me. Like my lowest rated, or like in my little my chart or whatever, my ranking thing or whatever, my lowest rated one after I saw this was Send Help. Like, so I've liked everything at least as much as that. So it's been a really good year. But then like in this last week I watched a few more, and those are all worse than Send Help. So but a lot better than 2025. Like I started that out with Flight Risk, and maybe that's my own fault, you know, maybe I only have myself to blame for watching Flight Risk, but yeah, I think I don't know, it's just so far like this year's been a breath of fresh air, because I mean we had Sinners at this time last year, so that was a good one, but I feel like last year was a not that there weren't movies that I didn't love, obviously, but a lot of like, I'm pretty sure 2025 was a lot of like underwhelming stuff for me. And so far this year has been very solid. Like when we were doing our top 5 like movies or whatever, I had War of the Worlds in mind for last year, so that tells you something.
Yeah. Yeah, I was almost the complete opposite. I love a lot of stuff from last year.
I know. I might have made this point on the show or not, but like 2025 feels like one of those things, one of those years that people are going to say is like, this was a great year for movies because you had like all these movies that people loved, like Marty Supreme and One Battle After Another, and not just those, but some other ones too that I can't think of right. Well, Sinners.
Yeah.
No Other later. Choice. 28 years later, yeah. I don't know if that was as universally loved, but No Other Choice. A lot of people were saying that that's like Park Chan-wook's best. I don't agree, but I do really like No Other Choice is really good.
Yeah.
That is
Sentimental Value was another one.
That's something a lot of people
Hamnet.
like. Yeah.
I feel like
which a lot of people liked. Yeah. I liked Hamnet, but
I'm gonna be I'm shooting a crazy shot right now. I think on a long enough timeline, people are gonna look at Hamnet sort of the way that they look at Emilia Perez. Not necessarily in like quality, but it was like one of those things they're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, why did people like love this so much? I don't know. I still haven't seen Hamnet, but it just strikes me as a movie that it seems emotionally manipulative. Maybe it's because I'm on a tear about that Max Richter song now that I heard it in another thing. But I'm just like, oh yeah, you're just like you're like inserting like you're doing the Konami code for movies with this song. It's in The Last of Us. I didn't even realize it. They play that song in the episode with Nick Offerman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a very, very like ubiquitous song.
When it's like when they're doing his last day before like they drink the wine that's laced to kill them, they play that song, and I'm like, oh my god, of course they did.
Okay.
It's the funniest thing in the world to me now that it's on my radar. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, for me personally, 2026 is looking good.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of not good stuff.
Yay.
Back on it. We just got done with the dud month.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice. I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
Is that? I gotta make sure I did it spelled right. But the movie that we are doing next week for our dud week, that is his name. Okay, that's weird. Is a movie from 2012, directed by Pete Vinal. That's the name I wasn't sure about. Daddy Can't Dance.
Okay. Oh. Oh, I've never heard of this.
I think Drew Gooden did a video on it.
Yeah, okay. That's the first Letterboxd review is 5 stars, and it just says Drew Gooden on it. So
oh, okay. And yeah, I think it had a different name because I think he covers that. It's which was like another, you're like trying to find it, or like White Men Can't Dance or something like that.
Oh yeah, White Men Can't Dance. Letterboxd has it as the alternative title.
Oh yeah, there's a poster for it. Yeah. So.
All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing. This seems like it could be a good dud because I'm seeing on Letterboxd director Pete Vinal, writer Pete Vinal, casting Pete Vinal, editor Pete Vinal, executive producer Pete Vinal, cast Pete Vinal. So we got like the Neil Breen, Tommy Wiseau, like writer, director, editor, and star. So
yep. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very interested in checking this one out. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Daddy Can't Dance, watch it before the next episode. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all of that said, I am a sound editor. Wait, no, I'm a podcast editor, and I'm responsible for editing out bad sounds and putting the clips into the episode. And I am the reason why the episodes will be late, although I don't think they have been. But I would be the one to blame. And with me as always.
As always, oh man, I don't know. I'm drawing such a blank. I am your detective who I'm going to follow your lead, and I'm going to go to crazy places with you, and I'm going to become a anime protagonist RPG fighter with a golden sword, and I'm going to fight the demon. And I'm
I was wondering if you're going to go the route of like, I am a detective and I have a spy camera set up in my daughter's bedroom.
No! That wasn't him, right? No, that was the different guy.
No. That was
I was like, that we didn't even touch on that one. That was like one of the most that was super uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.